Welcome to Becoming the Sun with Joita. This is the seventh inning stretch. And in lieu of the seventh inning stretch song, we're doing this snooze cover by Bieber. Long as you dreaming about me, ain't no problem. I don't got nobody just with you right now. Tell the truth, I look better under you. I can't lose. Woo! Such a beautiful song. Welcome to the show. I just needed to start with that because that has been on my mind and I have been reciting that song for the last several days. I love me a good cover, and that is just a beautiful song. So anyway, hello. How are we doing, you guys? It is May 9th, 2024, as I am recording this, and this is the seventh episode, hence the title. It's crazy that it's already been 7 episodes. It makes me feel really honored and humbled and grateful. I hope that I'm leaving you feeling better and helping you feel fulfilled with each episode and helping you realize your greatness. And ultimately, that we are all one consciousness. And when we can extract lovely things from each other and learn and grow from one another rather than viewing each other as competition, that's where our power lies. We all each individually have so many unique and incredible gifts that to view someone as a competition is so limiting and just icky. And I've really been discerning a lot in my life recently on the kind of energies that I'm engaging with, whether it's online or in person. And I'll just be really real with you, man. If I sense a slight bit of a competitive nature from somebody, I'm out. Like, I'm not here to compete with you. I'm here to collaborate. I'm here to be a friend. I'm here to be open and transparent and vulnerable. And if there is ever any ulterior motive, I just want to exit immediately. And I hope that you do the same as well, because being real is where it's at. I firmly believe that we are moving into a frequency, a collective frequency where our energy is our currency. It doesn't matter. It's not going to matter anymore what you look like, how much money you have, how many degrees you have. All of that is irrelevant. The most important thing that's going to be is your energy. What kind of person are you? How's your character? How's your mindset? What kind of thoughts do you have running around in your head all day? Are they aligning with the actions that you're taking? Are they aligning with who you want to become? These are the questions. Let me fill you guys in. There's been quite some new developments in our household that I don't think I have informed you guys of. If you follow me on social media, you probably are aware, but we have a new member of our household. Dun 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 dun. Meet Henry. Henry is our tabby cat that came into our lives, just like the miracle that he is, randomly stumbled into our lives, I want to say mid-January, about a month prior to Athena passing away. She passed away due to kidney failure. That's from episode 1, if you want to go listen to that story. And the beautiful subsequent lessons and stuff that I learned from that situation. But yeah, Henry came into our lives late January. I thought he might have belonged to somebody, so I hung up signs around the community. I submitted a post online on our community Facebook group, did the next door neighborhood app thing. Nobody claimed him. So after several weeks of having him kind of be an indoor-outdoor type situation and building him a little cat condo paradise on our back patio, he is now officially fully indoors. He's fully vaccinated. He is neutered. And yeah, fits right in. He fits right in, let me tell you that. So now with the addition of a new cat to our existing household, which consists of one border collie pit bull mix, which is my beautiful Haley girl. She is about 12 or 13 years old. And we have Gabby, which is my beautiful black and white cat, who I want to say she's around 11 or 12 years old. So both of them are both female and they're both a little bit older. So it's been quite a circus at times with an addition of a kitten, but it's been going really well. Henry's a beautiful soul, and I feel like all of these animals are getting along really well, and it makes me happy. I never thought that I would be a cat person, to be completely honest with you. I just had some really silly programming from when I was younger that, I remember having a MySpace page. You guys remember MySpace? I remember having a MySpace page back in like 2004, 2005, 2006. And you know how we always had our little like about me section where we talk about all our likes and dislikes. I vividly remember writing that I thought cats were disgusting and useless at the dumb age of, what was I, 20, 22 at that point? And that was just because I was told that they were useless and gross, but they're not. They're beautiful creatures, and they're so majestic, and cats are healing creatures. I mean, I feel like all animals are healing and amazing, but they truly are so special. And according to Dolores Cannon and all of her studies, cats can see, things that we can't see. They're multidimensional, and they see energy. So when cats see you, they're not actually really seeing your physical vessel. This is what I've learned. They don't see that first. They see your energy first. So just imagine, since we are all multidimensional beings and we're constantly living and interacting with different energies, just imagine what kind of a field day cats have every day when they can sense all the energies. Definitely wild to think about. So yeah, we are almost halfway through the year, which is insane. So how is everybody doing? I hope you guys are all doing well, handling this transition from spring to summer with ease and grace. Can't believe it's already almost the middle of the year. I hope everyone is doing wonderful, and using every day as an opportunity to integrate lessons from the day prior. Some of the things that have been coming up for me lately, the really cool thing about having this podcast is the unparalleled level of creativity in regards to the topics that I can choose from to discuss. And it's always something funny, I think, because I'm very drawn to self-development. I'm very drawn to inner work, to inner child work. And I was really just, I was sitting back the other day, and I'm listening to a podcast by this incredible woman named Africa Brooke, who is talking about her life story. And she mentioned something which blew my mind wide open. The topic of emotional intelligence and the constant strive to achieve emotional resilience. And that hit me like boom. This is exactly what my goal is in life, is to reach such a level of emotional resilience that I can endure any situation and not allow myself to be victimized by it, not allow myself to settle into victim consciousness and into believing defeat, accepting defeat, letting myself become shadowed by my fear, let myself be overtaken and eclipsed by my fears, by my insecurities, by my perceived limitations. There's the thing that I've found is that we have choices every single day, and for the longest time I was in a severe depression. I was in an extremely low state due to having 2 miscarriages, due to not really knowing what I wanted to do with my life, knowing that the personality that I was embodying was not in alignment with the person that I wanted to be. And I feel that when you have that awareness of like, oh gosh, I'm really noticing these uncomfortable thought patterns and these really negative limiting beliefs, and then subsequently being aware of how you behave. And when you have time, after an interaction with somebody, whether it's, a spouse or a friend or a family member, having that moment later where you're kind of just like evaluating the situation, evaluating your behavior, and recognizing, oh my goodness, I really behaved in ways that were not of my highest truth, and I feel really icky. But then how do we get from that point of feeling really icky about our behavior and using that as a doorway to improving? I feel like that place that we can get stuck sometimes in the limbo state is where all the magic and potential lies. Because in that moment of recognizing, oh, I really don't like the way that I behaved, is it like provides an opening, like this doorway that one could step into. You can either step into that, lean into the discomfort of that self-accountability, of being like, oh my goodness, I really want to improve because I don't like who I am in this moment. And it's not like the toxic positivity thing of like, oh, it's all love and light, it's all love and light, it's fine, I was just in a mood. It's about taking the accountability and recognizing that you no longer want to hurt people. And in order to stop hurting people and stop hurting yourself, how can I love myself more? What do I need in order to move forward where I can come from love and act from integrity and honesty and authenticity? That's the quest and that's the life work. And it's not easy, but it's also it's not easy, but it's mandatory, I feel. And one of my teachers lately has been Bashar in recognizing our truth. You know, we realize that we've been fed so much garbage from who we are, what we're meant to do in this life, what our priorities should be, and then kind of like unlearning all of that and being like, okay, no, my priority isn't to acquire material items and to make a certain amount of money and to have all of these possessions. It's such a limited and warped perception, because once you attain materialistic items and attain a certain egoic title or, you know, a degree or some type of like, this is my, you know, these are the acronyms after my name on a resume, you achieve these feats, you feel elated and you feel complete for 2 minutes, and then it's back to norm, like we're back to equilibrium. I want to share this incredible, beautiful story by an author named Andy Weir called The Egg. You were on your way home when you died. It was a car accident. Nothing particularly remarkable, but fatal nonetheless. You left behind a wife and 2 children. It was a painless death. The EMTs tried their best to save your life, but to no avail. Your body was so utterly shattered, you were better off, trust me. And that's when you met me. What happened? You asked. Where am I? You died, I said matter-of-factly. No point in mincing words. There was a truck, and it was skidding. Yep, I said. I died? Yep, but don't feel bad about it. Everyone dies, I said. You looked around. There was nothingness. Just you and me. What is this place? You asked. Is this the afterlife? More or less, I said. Are you God? You asked. Yep, I replied. I'm God. My wife. My kids, you said. What about them? Will they be all right? That's what I like to see, I said. You just died and your main concern is for your family. That's some good stuff right there. You looked at me with fascination. To you, I didn't look like God. I just looked like some man, or possibly a woman, some vague authority figure, maybe. More of a grammar school teacher than the Almighty. Don't worry, I said. They'll be fine. Your kids will remember you as perfect in every way. They didn't have time to grow contempt for you. Your wife will cry on the outside, but will be secretly relieved. To be fair, your marriage was falling apart. If it's any consolation, she'll feel very guilty for feeling relieved. Oh, you said. So what happens now? Do I go to heaven or hell or something? Neither, I said. You'll be reincarnated. You said, so the Hindus were right. All religions are right in their own way, I said. Walk with me. You followed along as we strode through the void. Where are we going? Nowhere in particular, I said. It's just nice to walk while we talk. So what's the point then? You asked. When I get reborn, I'll just be a blank slate, right? A baby. So all of my experiences and everything I did in this lifetime won't matter. Not so, I said. You will have within you all of the knowledge and experiences of all your past lives. You just don't remember them right now. I stopped walking and I took you by the shoulders. Your soul is more magnificent, beautiful, and gigantic than you can possibly imagine. A human mind can only contain a tiny fraction of what you are. It's like sticking your finger in a glass of water to see if it's hot or cold. You put a tiny part of yourself into the vessel, and when you get back out, you've gained all the experiences it had. You've been a human for the last 48 years, so you haven't stretched out yet and felt the rest of your immense consciousness. If we hung out here long enough, you'd start remembering everything. But there's no point to doing that between each life. How many times have I been reincarnated then? You asked. Oh, lots and lots. And into lots of different lives, I said. This time around, you'll be a Chinese peasant girl in 540 AD. What? Wait, you stammered. You're sending me back in time? Well, I guess technically, time as you know it only exists in your universe. Things are different where I come from. Where you come from, you said. Oh, sure, I explained. I come from somewhere. Somewhere else. And there are others like me. I know you'll want to know what it's like there, but honestly, you wouldn't understand. Oh, you said, a little let down. But wait, if I get reincarnated to other places in time, I could have interacted with myself at some point. Sure, happens all the time. And with both lives only aware of their own lifespan, you don't even know it's happening. So what's the point of it all? Seriously? I asked. Seriously? You're asking me for the meaning of life? Isn't that a little stereotypical? Well, it's a reasonable question, you persisted. I looked you in the eye. The meaning of life, the reason I made you, the reason I made this whole universe, is for you to mature. You mean mankind? You want us to mature? No, just you. I made this whole universe for you. With each new life, you grow and mature and become a larger and greater intellect. Just me? What about everyone else? There is no one else, I said. In this universe, there's just you and me. You stare blankly at me. But all the people on Earth, all you, all different incarnations of you. Wait, I'm everyone? Now you're getting it, I said with a congratulatory slap on the back. I'm every human who ever lived or who will ever live, yes. I'm Abraham Lincoln? And you're John Wilkes Booth, too, I added. I'm Hitler? You said, appalled. And you're the millions he killed. I'm Jesus? And you're everyone who followed them. You fell silent. Every time you victimize someone, I said, you were victimizing yourself. Every act of kindness you've done to yourself. Every happy and sad moment ever experienced by any human was or will ever be experienced by you. You thought for a long time. Why? You asked me. Why do all of this? Because someday you will become like me. Because that's what you are. You're one of my kind. You are my child. Whoa, you said, incredulous. You mean I'm a god? No, not yet. You're a fetus. You're still growing. Once you've lived every human life throughout all time, you will have grown enough to be born. So the whole universe, you said, it's just an egg, I answered. Now it's time for you to move on to your next life, and I sent you on your way.
So that story, first of all, in recording this, I had to pause a few times because it always makes me cry, especially towards the end. I think it's so absolutely beautiful. Every time you victimize someone, you are victimizing yourself. Every act of kindness that you've done to yourself. Every happy or sad moment ever experienced by any human was or will be experienced by you. This ties in so beautifully to the concept of oneness that I have been studying for the last several years. Not the concept, the truth that we are all one and that we are all here as incarnations, fractions, fractals of God, and we are here to evolve and to evolve ourselves into who we are meant to become. Cut to my incredible fascination and obsession lately with this entity named Bashar. And I am, so fun fact about me, I'm an extremely skeptical person. I have a part of me that is very childlike and inquisitive and curious, but then I also have my super critical, super discerning Capricorn side where I don't believe everything that I hear. I need evidence for things to be true to me. So when I stumbled upon Bashar and his teachings, so Bashar is an entity that is channeled through this gentleman named Daryl Anka. And Daryl Anka has been channeling Bashar for the past almost 40 years. And the reason why I really like Bashar is because his teachings overwhelmingly have helped me enhance my creativity, have and helped my mental and emotional clarity, and have helped me increase my self-awareness and self-acceptance. It's honestly a tool for greater self-empowerment. And recently, what has seeped into my consciousness, into my awareness, is his teachings, which actually I learned that is not just from his teachings, it's also from Tibetan yoga, from a tradition called Yandra, are the sacred circuitry. And I will link the article which describes the sacred circuitry in more detail. So, sacred circuitry is a gift that was passed down from otherworldly civilizations for others to receive. It's a series of 15 symbols or circuits and one word per symbol. The words represent states of being that, when meditated on, can rewire our brain neurons to realize that which we are desired to be. These 15 symbols are processed through our three minds. The teaching is we process information through our three minds. One is the higher mind, which is the conceiver. We have the physical brain, which is the receiver / antenna. And then we have the physical mind, which is the perceiver of the experience. The symbols empower the physical brain to connect with higher mind and the physical mind. The brain becomes hyperconductive, allowing information to be processed smoothly and effortlessly. This enables us to tap into the greater reservoir of knowledge, insight, and perception about life and reality. The incredible thing about our realities is that the realities shift through us billions of times per second. If you study quantum physics, you recognize that we break our bodies down to the smallest particle. We are all energy. We are just energy in motion. The realities that we shift through billions of times per second, it's so fast that we don't even notice it or feel it, the same as a motion picture. A movie is just a series of still frames moving at a fast rate to simulate motion. How we think causes us to shift in realities consistent with our thinking. If we have a limiting belief, then we will find ourselves in a reality consistent with those limiting beliefs. Having our three minds work in hyperconductivity through the practice of these symbols allows us to shift in a reality consistent with our idealized self. So I'm going to link, like I said, the article that has all this information along with the 15 symbols, and I invite you to take a look at them and to follow the instructions. So what I have done is exactly what Bashar has recommended. I have drawn out the 15 symbols on flashcards, and I have followed his instructions. For the first 3 days, you're supposed to meditate 1 minute per symbol in order until for all 15 symbols. It's a 15-minute meditation that you're going to do once for 3 days. And then after the 3 days, you can look at the symbols in any order that you wish to, according to what resonates with you. You don't even need to view them all, but the entire practice should last 15 minutes, even if you are doing one card only. So I invite you to try that out. I'm always open to learning new things and to expanding my mind, especially if I know that the information is to serve my expansion and to serve my highest good and to make me as well-rounded and thoughtful in every sense, not just thoughtful in the limitation of like my egoic mindset and like my primal needs and desires, but what is good for everyone. And really the gift that I have been gaining from expanding my mind is being able to view situations, especially uncomfortable interactions that I have with people, from a higher perspective. So many of us walk around in such a victim mindset. Why did this happen to me? Why is the world against me? Oh, something bad happened, so the entire day is ruined. When we forget that everything is always happening for us. I firmly believe that everything is always working out for our highest good, even in the moment where a situation might be difficult, even in the midst of agony. Having the faith and knowing that there's always a lesson to be extracted from a situation, and just understanding that God has your back, the universe has your back. We are here to experience polarity. We are here to experience defeat, only to know that we should not ever let ourselves be defeated, to know that we have the potential within us. There's this beautiful quote by Maya Angelou: "You may encounter defeats, but you must not be defeated. In fact, it may be necessary to encounter defeats so you can know who you are, what you can rise from, and how you can still come out of it." So now we're going to shift gears and we're going to talk about the 7 universal laws by Matias De Stefano. His philosophical worldview can be translated as heaven on earth. It is a concept explaining how we are the creators of our own reality, as well as giving us the tools to be able to transcend it. He is currently developing new materials to help us understand the world and our role in it. One of those tools is the 7 laws. Matias claims that in whatever time, dimension, or space you are in, the universe is always governed by these 7 laws. No one can escape them, and they apply to everyone, no exception. When you are in compliance with those laws, you realize your full potential. So let's talk about universal law number 1. Your mind creates your reality. On many levels, this seems to be the case. In a more abstract and macrocosmic sense, our mind creates the entire universe we perceive around us. Our human experience is all perception, like living in a dream. A dream feels real until you wake up. So what if this reality is also a dream that we just haven't awoken from? The accomplished yogis, ascended masters, and sages say this: "You are not your body, you are not your thoughts, and there is no I. The only thing that exists, the thing that does not die or get reborn, is our consciousness." Perception is there to give us a human experience and to allow us to learn what we need to learn. The call to action in the universal law of your mind creates your reality is to be extremely cognizant of what you are thinking about every single minute of the day, to be very careful about what you want to manifest into physical form. These intentions are the building blocks of the reality. To the extent you want to manifest something, think that it already exists within you. Feel and don't intellectualize. Don't wish for it, because it will remain a wish that is not reality. The second universal law is as above, so below. Whatever happens on the inside is reflected on the outside. The mind, body, spirit, and the rest of the external universe mirror each other. Essentially, as an oversimplification, if you are negative and constantly think negatively, It's not going to be surprising if you live a miserable life. And it definitely holds true the other way around. The more optimistic you are, the more you seek to find nuggets of wisdom and lessons in every single thing you go through in life, the more you'll be gifted with the lessons versus wallowing in self pity. So, the call to action in this particular law is when you work on any aspect of your being, the ripple effect reaches everyone. The universe or reality shifts in compliance with it. So, for example, when you try to get physically fit, the thinking of the mind also improves. As the adage goes, sound body, sound mind. When you work on the spirit by meditating, the body becomes relaxed and the mind becomes still. When you raise your vibration, the universe complies through synchronicity. You meet new people who think similarly, and you subsequently lose interest in your previous social circle who remain stuck in their old ways. And this sometimes could be a very hard thing to overcome for some people because as much as I want to believe that everything is working out for our highest good, there are people in our life that don't want us to grow, whether it's a conscious thought or an unconscious thought. The version of you that remains subservient to them or that remains controllable to them is no longer going to be there when you evolve. So, knowing when to cut ties with toxic or dysfunctional people, relationships, circumstances is one of the hardest things. But once you can break through that, you recognize that you're going to grow regardless. And it's just having that, honestly, it's having that inner strength and the self-love to recognize I am not going to stand behind while my soul wants to excel. Either meet me where I'm at and continue growing with me, or don't come with me at all. And it's honestly a very hard lesson that I'm currently in the process of implementing myself every single day of my life. But it's also one of the most rewarding things. So I love that. So that's number 2. The third universal law is that everything is a vibration. Over 2,500 years ago, Buddha said that everything in its smallest component is comprised of tiny but invisible kalapas that vibrate at 1 billion times a second. They arise and drift away in full compliance with the natural law of impermanence. String theory says the same thing, that the building blocks of matter are a band of vibrating energy called strings. Quantum mechanics say that everything is a wave, and the only time the wave collapses into a particle is to observe them. Yes, the mere observance of a wave causes it to collapse into a particle, as proven by the double slit experiment. So the call to action with this particular law is, what if you add feelings, intention, and gratitude when you want something to manifest? Wouldn't that exponentially affect how matter comes into being? Until that wave collapses, there are 1 million probabilities on how it collapses into matter. Intention and gratitude added to mere observance create a greater chance that it manifests into a reality you architectured. Just shows how magnificent and powerful we actually are. Number 4, the fourth law of the universe is opposites are the same. If you think of two opposites belonging to only one broad spectrum, example, a stick, on one end of the stick is pure black and on the other it's pure white. In between, you get a varying shade of gray. So if you look at it from the perspective of if you are an ant and you're only on the black part, you will think the stick is black. Same thing as if you were on the white part. The realization is that it's the same stick and that there is no duality. The call to action for this point is this calls not for a physical action, but more of understanding and acceptance, that the happiness we enjoy also comes with sadness as well. They are two sides of the same coin. Thus, We have to go through both processes to fulfill our human experience, to learn what we need to learn in this existence. When we can accept this, we no longer fight with life, knowing that what happens needs to happen, good or bad, pleasant or unpleasant. Moreover, the unpleasant things need to happen in order to clear clutter and to make space for bigger manifesting to take place. The fifth universal law is everything flows. There is a perfect time for things to happen. That's why there is a planting season, a harvesting season, a high tide, and a low tide. The call to action in this one is this may not be instinctive at first, but learn to act when the timing is right. The more you are aware about things, the clearer it becomes when it's time to act. Sometimes it's even in your best interest not to act on it because it was never meant to be. When the timing is right, you don't struggle anymore. You simply go with the flow, and all the energy needed to make things happen is already right behind you. It's like being a surfer riding a big wave, just letting go and swimming with the flow. And from the teachings that I've learned, the way that you know that you're in alignment with your desire is passion, is excitement, is eagerness. Those feelings are your call that it's time to move forward. If you feel any bit of indecisiveness, take a break, set it down. Whatever your passion is guiding you towards is where you should flow your energy. The sixth universal law is cause and effect, and this is essentially the law of karma. This phenomenon is self-explanatory when you just observe reality. Anything that happens now was caused by something, and whatever happens now will be the cause of the effects it will manifest. So the call to action with this one is if you believe that good things will foster more good things, then do good things because you will produce good results, and vice versa. You do a good deed today, and then perhaps in the future, that good will be reciprocated by something good as well. If you harm someone today, when that victim comes into a position of power, that harm can come back to you tenfold. But forget about keeping tabs or doing things for reward. Just do good things instead of bad, because doing something good is already its own reward. Besides, doing something bad is just as difficult or just as easy as doing something good. So why not play it safe and just continue to do good things every single day? The seventh law of the universe is everything has a gender. There is both masculine and feminine on both sides. And this is something that I learned in Reiki as well. In yoga, they also teach the yin and the yang. We both have, so as a woman, I have masculine and feminine energy within me. And I feel like all of life is learning to be in equilibrium. Sometimes we do have to utilize more of our masculine traits, which is more of the doing, more of the controlling, more of the getting things done. And sometimes we can lean in and be receptive, leaning into that feminine energy of nurturing, of being receptive, of being open. So that is the call to action when you recognize that you have both genders within you. Humanity is humanity, and tending to whatever part needs to be tended to is always important. So those are the 7 laws of the universe, according to Matias De Stefano. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode as well. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to follow me on Instagram, my handle is @JoitaKlusek. I really appreciate you taking the time. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Wishing you a beautiful day and an amazing week. Please know that you have all of the power within you to achieve greatness, and I hope you know that you deserve it. You deserve everything good in your life, and I love you. Thank you for listening, and have a beautiful week.